This film had a lot of heart compared to these really big productions that have tons of CGI and there's no storylines and there's no plots, and it's just it just caters to the lowest common denominator when it comes to brain cells. This film has a lot of heart, has a lot of soul, it has a lot of integrity and great writing. And that's what makes this film stand out from a lot of the horseshit you see every day in the cinemas.
You know, it was just really neat to be part of like something where everybody's doing it because they are excited to be there. And so it was fun to do, you know. I did end up getting syphilis and hep C from the robe. So that sucked. But that goes away, right?
My most memorable part of the film would probably be the graveyard scene between Julia McCullough and Joey G, because there's sort of like a gentle, kind of a vulnerable man energy. I call it a menergy. There's a lot of vulnerability and there's a lot of sensual undertones between the two of them. It's a real dance, that scene. It gets me real jazzed.
Working with Rachel Feinstein, doesn't matter. Working with Rachel Feinstein was a lot of fun. I already loved her stand-up comedy. She does a lot of stand-up comedy about her mom. And no, I already loved Rachel's stand-up, and I knew her, and I always knew she was like pretty or whatever, but working with her in this movie was great because she does the accent that really turns me on. So it was like, after doing this movie, I was like, I really want to bone Rachel, you know what I mean? And then Tommy was like, cut, and then I was like, oh, fuck it.
Rachel Feinstein is fucking funny!
Working with Sal the stockbroker was an amazing experience. Here's a guy who works on the Howard Stern show every day, and he wants to be part of Circus Maximus, and just having him on the set was a great trip.
Working with Mario Cantone was such a joy for me, and I didn't even tell him why, but I grew up watching Mario Cantone, and he doesn't want to hear that because he doesn't want anyone to know that he's over 50, right? He's over 50. He doesn't want anybody to, is he 60?
I'm 90 years old.
Mario is one funny son of a bitch. He is on rocket fuel. He is on volume 10 from an energy standpoint. He can go all day, great improviser.
Working with Tommy LaSource was a great experience, and I'll tell you why. Tommy is so committed to his film. He's so committed to his project. He has such a vision that he really gives you his heart and soul, whatever it takes. Tommy's always 2 steps ahead of you. If he senses something, Tommy is like the Spider-Man of directors. He can really literally sense when you're uneasy about something. And his heart and soul is all about filmmaking. So working with Tommy was a great experience because he makes you feel comfortable, he makes you feel like family, and he really works with you in getting the best out of you. And that's what Tommy did.
And then he sent me the script, and I read my parts, and I thought, this kid can really write. And my partner said the same thing, and he's tough. And then I met him the next day, and I told him so. And I didn't realize how cute he was gonna be. And he was adorable. He has a girlfriend. He likes vagina.
Working with Tommy LaSource was a great experience for me. After I read Circus Maximus for the first time, I was glad I was part of it, and I couldn't wait to get to work on it.
Working with Joe Ganascoli. Here's a guy who's on every season of Sopranos, and he has a trillion other things he can be doing, yet he's hanging out on Circus Maximus.
I need to go buy DVDs, and I'm going to buy Circus Maximus right now.
Circus Maximus. Watch the movie.
Just watch the movie and you'll understand what we're all talking about. You should watch the movie and then look at the extras. If you look at the extras now, you're not gonna fucking get it. So watch the movie.
I'm fortunate to have great producers on this project. In no particular order, in addition to the producers on this featurette, I had Andy Entrada, Miguel Tirado, Javier Zelaya, Kamal Ahmed, Al Torella, Christina Catracci.
I don't have enough time to thank everyone, but I do want to thank Tom McNello, our DP, Rob Robitaille, Rob Sabar.
I was very fortunate to get a part in Circus Maximus. Tommy called me up and said, listen, we're looking for a guy who looks like a pizza delivery guy. And I didn't have to try out because I was a producer. So there was pizza delivery guy number 1. I didn't get that part, but pizza delivery guy number 2 was open. So
the days I showed up at the editing room, Tommy LaSource was working with our editor Ilya Osovitz, and it was at Elia's place. And I just remember this giant Japanese warrior dog he had and this cat literally just chased each other around the table as we were editing. It was like editing on the set of Tom and Jerry, except Tom was a dog and Jerry was a cat. I think there was a fish tank too. It was like working in a room where there's the food chain. You had the humans, the dog, the cat, fish. It's like Animal Kingdom.
So I say to Tommy, why Circus Maximus? And the Roman that he is, he's got to throw in that Italian. And I looked it up, the whole thing with Rome and what happened in those days, it's not too different from this film.
The credit sequence was basically a movie within a movie unto itself. And I was paying homage to the old 1950s and 60s television specials like Lucille Ball and Bob Hope, and even the Rankin Bass Christmas specials with with the Heat Miser and the Cold Miser. It was basically a style of animation where they would animate wooden figures one frame at a time. So I wanted to maintain that retro stop-motion jerky feel, even though we were doing it digitally.
Does my background in directing commercials help me directing films? I hope so. Shortly after the release of my first film, All Saints Day, I launched Speak Media Advertising, geared toward broadcast commercials. And when you're doing a commercial, you're basically selling a product or service within 30 seconds. With films, it's the same thing, just slightly different. You're selling the story to an audience. Are the characters within the story something strong enough that an audience will invest themselves into? So I'd like to think that that both, directing commercials helps me out.
A thing a lot of people don't know is that I insisted on using a real vibrator. And Tommy went out and he bought the Shaquille O'Neal Super Duper Black Edition. And I still have it to this day. It's right on my mantle next to pictures of my children.